Welcome to the pre-calculus notes for trigonometric functions. Today we're going to be focusing on the unit circle. Please write your name and what period you're in on your notes. And so the focus of today's lesson is what are the limitations on right triangle trigonometry? You can only perform trig ratios on acute angles. And so is there a way to look at all of the other angles using trig? Okay, because we want to keep them positive. All right. So we're going to talk about something called the unit circle, where the radius anywhere on the circle is 1, because 1 is considered your counting unit. Okay, so from the origin here, if you go up 1 unit, over 1 unit, down 1 unit, and to the left 1 unit, then anywhere you draw in a radius, it's going to be 1. So this triangle that's drawn in here has a hypotenuse of 1, and you're going to use trigonometry to find the values of the adjacent leg and the opposite leg, given that this is the angle. Okay, so for the sine of angle theta, you want the opposite over hypotenuse. So from here, opposite is y, hypotenuse is 1. For the cosine of theta, you want the adjacent over hypotenuse. So in this case, the adjacent is x, the hypotenuse is 1, and x over 1 simplifies to x. For the tangent of theta, you're going to use opposite over adjacent. So from this angle, the opposite is y, the adjacent is x. All right, we're going to be asked to find the exact values of the trig ratios based on these 4 points. So we have a point here at 1, 0, point up here at 0, 1, point over here at -1, 0, and a point down here at 0, -1. Okay, just depends on where it's on each axis. Okay, so if we want the cosine of 0, so here's 0. This is 0 degrees because this is the initial where you're always going to start. So from this value, cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which in this case, the adjacent and the hypotenuse are both 1. So 1 over 1 simplifies to 1. Now we want the sine of 90. So 90 degrees is up here, which puts us at 0, 1. So this is the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. In that case, your angle or your sides are going to be 1 over 1, which again reduces to 1. Then we want the tangent of 180, which is over here. The tangent is opposite over adjacent, and so the value is going to be 0 over the -1, which, believe it or not, reduces to 0. And then we want the cosine of 3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2. This is pi over 2, this is pi, so pi over 2, 3 pi over 2 is down here at 0, -1. And so we're going to have 0 over 1. Okay, attached in this lesson in Schoology is a chart. So you're either, if you're on campus, I can print it for you, but if you're at home, you can print it yourself, or you can just open it up and copy it down into your notes. If you want to print it out, and you can glue stick it in there or whatever, and that's going to help you find these values. Okay? All right. So we want to find the exact values of the trig ratios for sine, cosine, and tangent of 135 degrees. So here I popped over to the chart I'm referring to. It's titled Angles and Radians of a Unit Circle, and we're going to find 135 degrees here. And so our location is -2 pi, negative rad 2 over 2 and rad 2 over 2. So when we hop back to the question of 135, that means we're looking for sine, cosine, and tangent. So the sine, let me see, I won't drag it down. So the sine for 135 degrees is going to be the square root of 2 over 2. And then the cosine for 135 degrees is going to be negative 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. And the tangent of 135 is going to be square root of 2 over 2 divided or over the negative square root of 2 over 2. So this is plus, this is essentially the same thing. One's positive, one's negative, which simplifies to negative 1. Okay? Let's also find the sine, cosine, and tangent of 60 degrees. So I'm going to pop back over to the chart, and 60 degrees is right here, which puts us at 1/2 rad 3 over 2. Okay? So our sine of 60 is rad 3 over 2. Our cosine of 60 is 1 over 2. And our tangent of 60 is rad 3 over 2 to 1/2. If we multiply by the reciprocal, the 2's cancel and we get the square root of 3. So make sure you either copy that chart down or you print it out and put it in your notebook.